Ahoy listeners, welcome to the Yonko Podcast with me, Alex Chuan, and our crew, Digital Burke and Real Life Brock. Welcome to Chapter 1034, a chapter basically just Sanji. Momo's flying around and having ideas, but Sanji is getting the brunt of it. Questioning his actions, questioning Queen, and leaving us with a ton more questions as well. Questions like who, what, why, where, and how the fuck is he doing that? All this and so much more on today's episode of the Yonko Podcast. Let's jump right in. Let's set sail. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Chapter 1034, Sanji versus Queen, Part 14 at this point.
Huzzah! What's on this first here page?
We've got our lovely cover photo with Usopp in a mask that is not his classic Sogeking mask. No, it is indeed something else.
He's being a hero to the children.
Yes, and he is winning first prize, which is 1 year's worth of juice.
Damn.
I also find it funny that the minks are over there as well. Just, doing their best. Very close range. Obviously, Usopp showing off his amazing skill sets by being so far away. Usopp winning prizes for the children at this festival shooting game.
It is refreshing to see a request for Usopp. I think that's probably one of the least requested Straw Hats in terms of...
Has been. I don't think we've seen an Usopp panel since he was telling his stories to that octopus news anchor a while back. Yeah.
That was like, what, 5 chapters ago?
It was. I feel like it was a while ago, though. You know what I mean? With that, let's...
Chapter.
Huh?
Every chapter feels like a while.
I know.
Right now.
I've been literally rereading, because Lauren obviously is getting caught up in the actual manga for like the last 30 or so chapters, and it's crazy how many chapters ago it felt like 1,000 was, but it really was a fucking decade ago, it feels like.
Well, I was going to say, it's been almost a year now.
Yeah, like we've been in Wano so long, guys.
Jeez.
So long.
So worth it, though.
So worth it. Absolutely. Okay, with that, we're jumping into 1034. Pleasure Hall, Left Brain Tower, Skull Dome. Eek! Cries some poor girl. Oh, Same, step away. You'll get hurt. Eek! Let's hurry towards the back. No, not yet. I still can't find Chuji. Don't worry. I'm sure he's fine. Focus on your own safety. If there's any way to escape, any way off this island, now is the time to make use of it to escape Wano entirely. Very wise, very wise. And then I think we jump over to Momonosuke in his dragon form. Because I'm a dragon just like him. I've grasped the knack of Kaido's flame clouds. I might be able to push the island back up.
Might not.
Huh? Oh, I might not be able to push the island back up, but as long as I can stop its fall, the worst can still be avoided. I won't let it fall on the flower capital. I love these quick cutscenes to the flower capitals, just still so cheerful.
Yeah, no idea what the hell's going on.
Such ignorance, such
almost
bliss.
right above them.
Literally. Do you guys feel like Momo's got this, or...
I think, considering how new he is to this and the situation, it's a very smart idea.
It is.
Like, I think it's better than it's a lot more hopeful than the alternative.
Which is him creating his own and
him trying to overpower the skill that Kaido's had for many, many decades.
Indeed. I don't know if Momo's got this. I wanna hope that Momo will, in some part of this raid, be a reason that things worked out. But up to this point, he's just been going through it, man. He's been doing his best, but... Whew.
That's all anyone could do.
I know.
What do you think, Burke? You think Momo's got this, or you think he's going to need some help?
I think Momo's got this.
Think he's got this?
So much
I think whatever way he finds out how to do it, he will get this, obviously. I don't... the minute Yamato left him, I really just don't think that anybody's coming to help Momo in this.
Well, he's kind of in a... He's kind of in a hard spot to be helped, too, I think.
Exactly.
I mean, after all, Brock, there's only, 5 Zoan types that can fly, in all of One Piece?
And how many of them want to help Momo?
Don't
Here
even
comes
get that
Pell.
going again.
Pell Survival Part 2.
Nigashima falls and crushes him, and he pulls himself out of the dirt somewhere. Cool. All right, well, Momo's got his struggle. Now we leave Momo for the rest of the chapter.
Pell's Awakening, a real Electric Boogaloo.
Performance floor inside the Skull Dome. Escape the castle. Hold the line. As all of the fighting continues between the samurai and the beast pirate underlings. We return to the Pleasure Hall, Left Brain Tower.
Sparking Queen.
Beams from his eyes.
Sparking Valkyrie.
Huh?
Henry Queen.
And it's so insane that we just get literally Ichiji and what's the Niji's attacks coming out of Queen, because Queen can do that apparently. That's crazy.
Henry Blazer.
Jeez Louise.
You get it yet? I'm using Germa 66's moves. I was saving them up until after you transformed. See, Judge's sons are like the amalgamation of all of his scientific tech. If I'd beaten you to a pulp while you wore that suit, I could have proven something to Judge. That I am the superior scientist. Right, Stealth Black? I don't care. Oh, wait, that's yours.
I don't care about your stupid rivalry. Gah!
I played dumb about it earlier, but the plain truth is, I've already researched and tested all of Germa's science.
Let go!
I can recreate any move you brothers can do.
Stop treating me like they're family!
Winch Guillotine! Winch Queen!
Gah!
What?
And then kicks out of his grasp, breaking his arm. Gah! Falling to the ground there.
Curse you, my hand! Why, you snotty little brat!
I warned you not to say their names around me.
Oh, so there's no such thing as freedom of speech anymore?
Flashent Flare Goaka!
That's mine.
Oh.
Goaka!
Sorry. Flanchette Flare. As he kicks Queen straight into the stomach. That seems to be his point of contact throughout this fight at this point.
Yeah.
He just keeps going for that big old tummy of his.
Ah!
Maybe he'll turn him skinny with his wonderful...
What's up, Bert?
It's the biggest part on Brachio Queen, so of course he's going to hit him in the stomach.
But I wonder if he'll do a body modification like he did with his buddy way back in Savity. Suddenly Queen's like thin and he's like, I won't be popular.
No, I'm too popular.
I'm too popular. No, I won't be.
Popular.
Oh, no.
That could be so much fun. See, don't assume you have the upper hand.
Still you.
Is he screaming there? I think he
I already screamed.
Oh.
Gah!
There's no way the attack I landed on you earlier didn't do lasting damage. We've been fighting for a while. You're banged up too. I've already accepted my fate. I'm not the same person you fought back under the dome.
Then show me how different you really are. This next one's your specialty, Stealth Black.
You can copy that too?
What the? He disappeared too? But he doesn't have a suit on. He's just invisible from high-speed movement. The moment he's visible again is the moment he's out of stamina. Stupid decision, boy.
Choo! Choo choo! There you are, Choo-Chee. You're all right.
You like that, Burke? I'm assuming you did.
So funny.
Hurry over here. Choo! Choo! We don't know when they'll start fighting again.
Osome! So that hussy's on her feet again. How dare she turn down my patronage all those dozens of times? She even did it earlier today. With dear Kumurasaki gone, you're my number one girl, Osome. They said you were off work due to a headache this morning.
Choo! Choo!
which made it very suspicious that you were walking around just fine.
Creak.
Was my divine punishment earlier not enough? We'll see how you like another one!
What did I gain? An exoskeleton, muscle, and speed, all of which increase strength. Had the color of armor that Haki have developed to the exoskeleton, and my legs are tougher, capable of supporting even hotter flames. Ifrit Jambe. Faster acceleration, heavier weight. The mystery is solved. You did that, didn't you, Queen? You miserable piece of human scum! Collier Coup!
Master Queen Sama?
Basat Kosei Blast! Paleron Pound! Jumia Abatific Blitz! Tenderloin Tenderizer! Flanchet Flyer! Quen Crippler! Pork Poinker! Jared Jarrar! Now fly, sicko! Both Blast! Gigantic hit from Sanji. So many flames, so many swirls, and to be continued in 10:35. Wow!
Nice finisher. I think it's a finisher.
That is a lot of hits.
After rewatching it, because Alex and I, we had a talk earlier.
Little
pre-talk, thinking about whether that was the final hit on Queen or if there's still going to be continuation. I said that I'm not certain, but I just given some of the hints in the podcast between Sanji telling him to fly and Sanji hinting at the fact that they're both hitting their limits, and then that overwhelming barrage of attacks. And after rereading it, I'm kind of even more confident that probably is the end of this fight. What do you think, Burke?
I'm actually leaning more towards maybe one more chapter.
So yeah, I'm on a similar wavelength. I think, Burke. I think both Queen and King might have like one more like special thing that they each do that makes them like the end all opponents, and then because I'm really hoping for that double panel like Sanji Zorro, like maybe new attack finishers, and then we get the defeated, Queen of the Plague defeated.
Ifrit Jambe is pretty friggin' cool.
Oh,
not gonna lie.
I'm a huge fan of all of those last few attacks he did. I'm a big fan.
It's just, to me, the panel definitely gave off the vibe of a finishing panel.
It definitely feels like it, but I just feel like Queen got off too easy, if you ask me.
Well,
and that's saying something. They've been going at this for a while.
Usually, here's the thing, is I think it only seems like he got off easy because we're reading the manga. I feel like those attacks will look far more intense in animated. And like I said, usually when they say we're at our limit, that's usually the author hinting battle's about to end. And that's why I'm thinking Queen's probably done.
I wouldn't be against the next thing we see with Queen is just like his defeated logo, where it's like Queen of the Plague, super all-star of the Beast Pirates, has been defeated. I'm really, that's an awesome attack to finish on if it is the finisher. I would be perfectly happy with that. I would also be equally happy with having another bout where, look, if Queen's obviously showing his trump card here. He wanted to beat Sanji with all of their abilities, right, when he had transformed, when it was at his peak. But Sanji was like, my peak isn't in that suit. This is my peak. And he literally beats the crap out of all of Queen at, like, maybe, I guess, the height of his power if there's nothing else, right?
And that kind of adds to why I think this is the finale for him, is because he's trying to use Sanji's past against him in a way, like the culmination of Sanji's past. And Sanji overcame his past and used his newfound powers to break through all that, is why it feels like an ending for me. Because I think it would be very poetic if that was how it was end.
It's honest. I honestly would have been fine with another Hell's Memories like attack here, just because he's reminding him of all this, and now he's burning even that away. Mm-hmm. This is an interesting point I want to bring up. Both Lauren and I noticed this. Queen is not using Reiju's powers.
That's true.
Do you guys think there's a reason for that?
Maybe.
It's possible.
And Judge has no powers to speak of, right? He's just human.
He's just a dude with a spear.
He's just a scientist.
Like he has a raid suit, obviously, but like he doesn't have.
He's just a strong motherfucker.
Yeah, he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
He's just a strong asshole.
He's just a strong asshole father figure. Like I honestly,
not even a father figure. He disowned Sanji.
All the brothers beat him. I think 1v1s easily. Like I don't think Judge has anything special to speak of.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, hell, the only reason he quote unquote beat Sanji is because he used a fucking body. Used one of his soldiers.
Yeah,
as a shield.
Right, of course.
Otherwise, Sanji would have kicked his ass.
Here's where I could see if Queen is getting back up, Queen going next. He hasn't used Reiju's abilities yet. If Sanji is reminded of the only member of his family and a girl, right, in Queen's use of these abilities, I think maybe there might be some more, like, that might be a final obstacle to overcome, because he's not hitting his sister, whom he definitely would never hit, girl, and the only one that, like, cared for him, right? I could see that being his final trump card. That, or the reason, and this is just a theory on my end, the reason he doesn't have Reiju's abilities is because Reiju's stuff was figured out before all the brothers were born, right? So perhaps when Queen worked with Judge, it was only during all of his son's enhancements, whereas Reiju's came before. It's not something that he had access to.
Yeah. Also, remind me, Reiju's power was the absorption of poison?
Poison pink. So she absorbs poison into her and her raid suit, assumedly, and then she can also coat her attacks in poison, right, and leave poison behind. And she's got like range attacks with it. Like she basically uses poison as her thing.
Honestly, the only reason, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I know I'm stating my case pretty strongly here, but I mean, I wouldn't be against him getting back up. But at the same time, the only reason I can think of him actually getting back up is just because of the dino toughness, which has been thoroughly pushed by Oda, and that would make sense then. But either way, if that doesn't happen, I think this makes for a good finisher.
Solid. Yeah. I also like Queen embodying all the things that Sanji hates about his family, because in a way...
Well, just everything Sanji hates. He beats women. He fucking...
No.
Yeah.
And he never really got a chance to beat the living shit out of his family, but now he does.
Yeah.
Because all of their powers are in Queen. Like, Queen activating all that shit didn't make him want to beat him up less. It made him want to destroy him even more.
Yeah.
But what was oddly left out from that was Reiju, which is the only part that Sanji wouldn't want to, like, deal massive damage to, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't know if it'd be enough to stop if it's still Queen
No,
using it.
Honestly, I think Sanji, in terms of that, the only thing that would stop him is the appearance of her, not her power, because the power doesn't represent Reiju. I think to him, what represents Reiju is her kindness towards him, as the only person who treated him like a brother, the one who helped him escape from that hell.
Yeah.
And I don't think him having her powers would really induce anything with Sanji, because that's not who she is in his mind.
I think it would be more like, you know how we keep flashing back to each of the brothers as those attacks are coming out, right? And that's reminding him of each of them, even though he's only seen them very recently. It's not like he saw them like developing these.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make me think that opposite to that would be if he sees that power and then thinks of Reiju, and in that split second, Queen took advantage, right? It wouldn't be I can't hit him. It's that's Reiju's, and then boom, right? Like, Queen only needs a split second to be a treacherous bastard.
Oh,
but
for sure.
That's my thought.
I can see that happening, but that would kind of, to me, that wouldn't be very Sanji-like. Because Sanji's been very consistent in that the main thing that throws him off is when his virtues are challenged.
Yes.
Such as hitting a woman.
Right.
Which, nothing about Queen besides his lipstick makes him look like a woman.
No.
You know.
Right.
And I can't imagine Reiju. I can't, like I said, because those powers represent what their father did to them.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and like, I can't imagine a mere power being enough to really complicate things for Sanji. Now, what I could imagine is Queen maybe secretly coding himself and might cause him after damage to Sanji, which Chopper might need to heal. So, or maybe he has a weird self regeneration thing. I don't know. There's a lot still to be explored with his new power up.
Exoskeleton regeneration.
You know, but I think regardless, like I said, for me, and I told you, Alex, like I said, for me, like I do think there's a percentage of a chance that this isn't the end of the fight. But just from all the hints I'm getting from this chapter, it seems more likely that it's over for Queen at this point.
Where do you think Queen's flying off to? Beaten or not? Do you
Queen's
think
flying off to?
Do you think Queen getting hit this way is going to fly through some walls and enter into Zorro's fight at all?
I could see that happening. I can see him sending Queen flying in a place where everyone can see and like, oh shit, 2 of our all-stars are defeated.
Getting another announcement out like that, right?
Exactly. Kind of like what happened with CP9. You know? And we're talking a lot. What do you think, Burke?
I can see this coming full circle. Like, that's the main reason I'm still also not sure that Queen's down.
Yeah.
Down. I could see, so obviously this chapter we got Sanji versus Queen. Well, I think it makes sense that next chapter, or at least within the next 2 chapters, we get Zorro versus King, essentially, the named chapter, which obviously would come off the back of him getting this power-up in Enma. So that to say, I think next Zorro chapter we get him doing a pretty decent, blow or 2 on King. And I think we come full circle in the fact that both the wings of the future Pirate King started their fight on the live floor. I think they end their fight wherever Zorro was, or like maybe something about where he was, because you remember last chapter he and King ended up somewhere inside the castle again.
Yeah.
So maybe their fighting leads somewhere that basically Sanji gets King or Queen pushed back to. So it might be the live floor again, for all I know. But it might also be somewhere else. I think it'd be cool if it was the live floor, because what a perfect place to see 2 of Kaido's All-Stars fall.
Yeah.
And just to remind everybody that this battle is turning in the favor of the Straw Hats even more as time goes on.
Absolutely.
I have to ask this question because I'm really curious your guys' thoughts on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, obviously, and this is an assumption that, Zorro is clearly unlocking King's Haki, right? That's going to be a big factor in his fight with...
For sure. He's going to need it.
With King, right? And we're having a chapter here with Sanji pretty much, if he's down, annihilating Queen.
Yeah.
Right? Do you guys think do you think there's a possibility of Sanji unlocking Conquerors?
I don't think so. Not because...
I don't think so.
Not because of anything against Sanji. I do think we're following a legit pattern with the Roger Pirates, where the 2 who had Conquerors Haki were the first 2 of the Roger Pirates. In my personal opinion, I think that would just be kind of tacky to just keep making that the reason they win. I like it much better that Sanji has his own reason for winning, his own powers for winning, not just they all have Conquerors. And also that just seems like, and once again, let's go back to my original thing of too many Conquerors on the floor. I think between Zorro, Luffy, Kaido, Big Mom, Law. No, not Law. Law's confirmed, right?
No.
No, Kid.
No.
We already have a lot of Conquerors. And honestly, if he didn't unlock it to be Queen, then either it's not a thing for him or it's way later. But I don't see it happening just because it doesn't really follow the patterns that have been shown and how... Because here's the thing, is usually when you have Conquerors in the series, and this has been shown from a lot of characters who have Conquerors, is you're treated differently from those around you, no matter how high level those around you are. And this goes true for like Zorro and Rayleigh. Because Zorro, even among the Straw Hats, was often shown, how can this guy be a follower? Or this guy's ferocious, he's got to be the captain. You know, that wasn't said about any of the other Straw Hats. And so I think Conquerors have a certain aura about them, regardless of whether they've unlocked it or not. And I'll let you go in just a second, Burke. I heard you just now. I don't think Sanji has that aura. And also I don't think he doesn't have the aura of a conqueror. And it goes along, and honestly to me, that goes in line with who they are as well. Because Zorro and Luffy's dreams make them conquerors of a certain aspect. Sanji's dream is a lot more of a, for lack of a better word, a career dream, if that makes sense. Not something you'd expect of a conqueror. But you go ahead, Burke. What's your idea on it?
You actually just literally said what I was going to say.
Oh, all right.
It was just along the lines of just like Zorro and Luffy thematically are people who are conquerors by nature. Zorro wants to be the king, like the greatest swordsman. Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. So like Sanji doesn't have that same kind of drive. It's not to say he's not strong, and it's not that he will be a strong member. It's just that he's not looking to be anything.
Yeah. So I can't really see him unlocking conquerors.
Maybe it's because I'm a Sanji fan.
Oh, I think it's definitely because of that.
But I also think there's like a lot of different reasons for someone to be a conqueror, right? And I think the fact that Zorro unlocked his at this point, when he needed to be this level, right, to cut Kaido, to take down King, right? And that's when it came to him. I think that, as just kind of like a baseline, opens it up for Sanji to have a moment where he needs to be a conqueror. Not so much, because again, Zorro hasn't been a conqueror up till this arc, right? That's a lot of chapters. At the same time, I don't think Sanji's had to be a conqueror. He's literally Luffy's his captain, Zorro's his vice captain. Like, he's never really had to, in my opinion, strive to be the greatest. He has two of the greatest with him. But I think in Whole Cake, in Zoe, a lot more responsibility got put on him. And again, I'd like him to have one. I don't think Wano is his stage. It's clearly Zorro's and Luffy's, honestly.
Well, I think it's. Here's the thing.
I'm just saying.
I think Wano is the stage of the Straw Hats. I think they're all being presented as the ones who are going to go forward and get One Piece. I think Sanji. I think this is what we want from Sanji. I think he's using what was once a curse as a blessing. I think that's his thing. It doesn't feel right to me for him to suddenly gain the same power as the two people who have always been treated as that through the entire series. Because Sanji's always been part of the big three.
Yeah.
But he's never really been treated like a beast, a demon, something uncontrollable.
Oh, I don't know about that. When his kicks are as hot as hell.
What I'm saying, I know what he can do, but he doesn't give off the same thing that people say they feel from Zorro or Luffy. Is what I'm saying. He doesn't attract the same kind of attention.
I think they're all treated very differently. I do. I think
they're all treated very differently. But what I'm saying is like Zorro, just as crew, and even apart from Luffy, is treated by people of the highest order as like, why is this guy under someone's command?
When it comes to leadership, it's Luffy, then Zorro, then Sanji. You'd agree, right? Those are the top three, and
They're the top 3 fighters?
in leadership roles as well.
Not necessarily.
Well, I mean,
I think Nami's more of a leadership role than Sanji. That's because she's the navigator and she also handles funds.
when it comes to going to Zoe, he led that team.
Well, he was the main fighter. He was the head fighter. He led the battle.
He's also the head advisor. I'm trying not to be biased here. I'm really not. But I feel like when it comes down to it, if Zoro's not around and Luffy's not around, it kind of falls on Sanji to be the person who kind of leads.
He's the one who
The only reason I would
protects.
say it falls on Sanji is because of the fact that Nami, being who she is, needs someone. This isn't even to say that Nami is a weak woman. It is literally just she acknowledges the fact that she is not one of the strongest people on the Straw Hat crew. She needs someone like Sanji to take charge and be the shield that guards them while they make their way into dangerous territory. I would agree with Brock in the sense that in those situations, I would almost say Nami is in charge, except for when it comes to attack, defense, stuff like that.
Exactly.
I understand her role as a navigator, but that's a singular role on
Well, no, you have to realize when they're on the ship, she's in command.
more than Luffy.
Yes,
Yes.
more than everyone.
Sure.
She's the one who gives the direction. She's the reason everyone's alive on the seas.
Sure, but Sanji, if again Zoro, Luffy are out of the picture, he's the one making the decisions of where that ship's going.
When it comes to battle.
No, I mean
No.
in general.
That'd be Nami.
Well, he made the choice of I'm gonna go to Whole Cake alone. You guys stay
Here's
here.
the thing.
and
Here's
wait
the
for
thing.
rest
Even
of them.
no. Here's the thing. On the ship, even Zolo doesn't overtake Nami. Zolo. Oh my God. Fuck you,
I
Alex.
didn't do anything.
I know.
I said nothing.
Damn it. Anyway, no.
Zoro.
On the ship.
Zoro can't be in charge of navigation.
No.
let's be clear, though.
Here on the ship, Nami has more power than Luffy, except when he really exerts his authority.
Yeah.
That's why I say Nami is more of a leader than Sanji.
Yeah.
But Sanji's a general.
Yeah.
Sanji is a leader in the fights.
I would say he's a strategic advisor. And he keeps everyone fed. Chopper keeps everyone like they have their roles.
No, I'm saying, but like Nami.
But I'm saying what makes you a conqueror, right?
Well, so here's the thing, Alex. Is like I'm trying to look at this objectively as much as you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying.
And I'm sorry, but you said something earlier that I'm gonna be as nice about this as possible, but kind of torqued me off just a little bit because you were saying, oh, Zoro's not been a conqueror until this, and it's just like, yes, his conqueror's haki hasn't been fully out, but everything he's been doing has been leading towards this kingly goal, essentially. It was the same thing that freaking King said to him, was, oh, you want to be a king, you want to be a conqueror. It's like,
Yeah.
he has been working towards becoming the ultimate swordsman his entire life. So, nothing... And I'm not saying that there aren't certain things that, you could look at Sanji and say, okay, this is something that could be similar to that.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, there isn't anything even remotely similar.
Well, no, that's why I think that the Conquerors has to be. It's not all the same Conquerors hockey. Katakuri, Doflamingo, Luffy. They have Conquerors, but the level of being a Conqueror is different, right? I feel like you get Conquerors for different reasons. Katakuri is not conquering Big Mom.
You got to remember,
He's protecting his
one
family.
of the translations for Conqueror's Hockey is King's Ambition.
Yeah.
Sanji doesn't have the ambition of a king. He wants to find the all blue.
No,
Here's the thing. Here's what I love about Sanji.
Yeah.
Is his ambition is such a peaceful one.
Sure.
He fights because he has to, but he cooks because he loves to.
Yeah.
That's Sanji. That's the cook of the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
He's also one of the most powerful. But his dream is to find the all blue and be able to cook all sorts of things for all sorts of people. That's not what a conqueror does. Now, by all means, I can't see the future. If he does get conquerors, then it's Oda's choice. But just by pattern and just by what we've seen in the past,
From a
Sanji
narrative perspective.
Sanji doesn't give. Oh, sorry. Sanji doesn't give off the vibes that we have seen from every conqueror so far. He doesn't have the ambition of a conqueror. He doesn't exhibit the same traits as a conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
But he is incredibly powerful,
Sure.
which counts for something.
We're assuming Mihawk's a conqueror, right?
I have no idea.
Well,
Here's the thing.
yeah.
Here's what I've learned. Conqueror's hockey, I don't think naturally infers that you are the most powerful. I think it means you have the most inborn promise to become one of the most powerful. But there are plenty of really powerful people on par with these people that don't have that. And I happen to think Sanji's one of them. I think Mihawk can possibly be one of them. Because I think it would be even more impressive if Mihawk reached it without having conquerors. And if he happens to have it, awesome. That means there'll be a conquerors fight between him and Zorro.
If Mihawk doesn't have conquerors, did he fight Shanks with Shanks's hockey off?
No. Here's the thing. I think
the
the thing about conquerors hockey, it's very powerful. It's very singular.
Yeah.
But if the other person's will is that strong, they can fight it back.
We're assuming, and now we're getting into theory. We're assuming that Shanks has conquerors. More than likely, can probably code himself in it. Right?
Well, we know he does.
Right.
Yeah.
We know Head Shanks has conquerors.
Right. We know that, but I'm saying he can code himself in it like Kaido can, right?
Very likely. Yes.
Right. So Mihawk never cuts him unless he has a similar understanding of conquerors, right?
I have no idea.
So that's the dilemma.
Here's the
right?
problem with Mihawk is we haven't seen him go all out.
Sure. No.
We need to see him go all out, which I'm sure we will. Before we get and here's the thing, I agree it's more than likely he does have that.
Right.
But at the same time he might not.
Because if King is Zorro's next step to beat because of maybe, and again, this is theory, if he needs conquerors consistently when slashing King, if that's what hurts King, right?
Yeah.
And Mihawk's another level, maybe he needs that to, interact with Mihawk.
Yeah,
again,
maybe.
I don't know. I obviously had no idea.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would be a natural progression.
No, I mean absolutely, and
Kings
don't get me
fighting
wrong.
kings.
But I think you can see in the fact that King and Queen probably don't have conquerors.
Right.
King is so hard to beat because of his natural defenses and his defenses as a dino.
Dino plus
Dino
whatever
plus
race he is that makes him
Lunarian.
so yeah.
Dino plus apparently a god on Earth.
A Lunarian who can exist in any environment.
And adapt to any hostile, yeah.
Right.
So, but once again, and I know it sounds like I'm trying to make it so that Sanji's not special.
Sanji,
but what makes...
Irregardless of conquerors,
No.
in my opinion, Sanji's special.
Absolutely.
He's one
Well,
of
no,
your
I think what makes him special is the fact that he stands up there without that. As the fact that... See, what defines Sanji in my eyes is the fact that he's so kind, but he's the guy... Here's how I see it. I see Luffy's the really kind, benevolent one.
Yes.
Zoro's the guy who would kill if he needed to. Sanji's the healthy medium, in my opinion. I think Sanji has a good. Sorry, Burke. I'll let you talk just a second. Sanji has a good mind for logistics for what needs to be done, like Zorro.
I think he's the smartest.
And then he's got the kindness of Luffy, probably even kinder, honestly, because Luffy's got some selfishness issues.
Sure.
But I think that's what sets him apart. Is like he's in some ways he's the most human of the three emotionally.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Burke. What were you gonna say?
Well, so all I gotta say is just full transparency to you, Alex, and just any Sanji fans listening. Yeah, Sanji's not my favorite, but I'm not really here for the let's shit on Sanji fest anymore. I'm really honestly past it. I think Sanji has his strengths and that he's adding them as much as he can. The only times I ever quote unquote meme on Sanji was just when I was just as upset with any Sanji fan, when we were talking about back with Black Maria, where it felt like he was just getting caught and taking part in Roof Piece. And what's Sanji doing? He's getting captured, and it's well, what the fuck? Why is this happening? It's because it's the same way I probably honestly feel about Big Mom, where it's just
feel like he's being clowned on.
We have an expectation of being so strong and so influential, and while Sanji may not be my favorite compared to like Zorro or Luffy, I'm not going to be shitting on him because he is strong and he is his own person. And I agree with Brock heavily that his emotions make him stand out, basically, between the members of the strong trio, essentially, if we're talking about Straw Hats.
Yeah.
Again,
so I'm just telling you not to get your hopes up, though, because I just don't think, and this isn't because I don't want him to, but I just don't think that when it comes to things like Conquerors, I don't think Sanji is going to have that.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, and it really isn't a shitting contest, this is a Sanji chapter, so Sanji is the topic, right? He is so powerful, he is top 3, and if we're going to have this, in my opinion, this continued idea of like the monster trio and the wings are flapping at the same time, it just brings into question, do they flap equally on all fronts, i.e. armament, observation, conquerors, like they all can do all 3. And again, I'm not saying this needs to happen for Sanji to be a special character, that, Sanji has to have this to be on the same level as Zorro. He is on the same level as Zorro, in my opinion. Even if without Conquerors he is. But I'm just curious if, there would be... There's a lot of story left, right? We obviously can't predict the future. We can try. But in my opinion, I could see a moment, and I don't know how it comes about, but I could see a moment where maybe it's not even a big deal like Zorro in the king fight showing his kingly ambition, but it's just something that lets him, Luffy, and Zorro kind of all... I don't know, I could see a panel where they're all kind of releasing that, and it's just epic, this monster trio. Because the other question I have is, since Yamato's joining the crew, does that mess with our monster trio at all? Having an advanced Conqueror Haki user on the ship.
I think, here's the thing, I think Sanji's...
I don't think so.
I think Sanji's gaining of these abilities naturally.
Yeah, the exoskeleton.
I think this is good. I think this upped his fighting power immensely.
Oh, great.
I think it makes it so he doesn't need Conquerors. I think that's his Conquerors, is getting these natural abilities. He may not have wanted them, but I think they're going to be a huge help. And I think, like I said, I think these are what puts him on par with Zorro, in my opinion.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And I think Oda did it in a very smooth way. And I think he did it in a way that's very Sanji.
If you'd asked me...
Go ahead, bud.
If you'd asked me this about like 10 chapters ago, I probably would have said that Sanji and Jinbei were still kind of equal, with maybe Sanji just barely eking it out. Now it's no question Sanji's up there with Zorro, at least like just behind him, if not on the same level, due to these new developments. Yamato possibly being included in there. Yamato is on the same level as Jinbei, if you ask me.
I agree there. Yeah. I think, like I said, I think Conqueror's Haki is useful and very... I think, here's the thing. I think Conqueror's Haki, while very useful, is also very niche.
Sure.
And that's why I think... And honestly, I just feel like, in my opinion... I know I shouldn't keep saying that because it's obvious, but, I want to clarify.
This is all our opinion, guys.
I want to clarify, But I feel... To me, it feels like making Sanji a third Conqueror's Haki user would cheapen his development as so far. Because for me, his whole arc is surrounded on his trauma from his family and the fact that he's using that trauma to grow stronger.
Yeah. Again, I think if it does happen, it's a very special moment and not just, he also has it, right? Something pushes him to the brink and he has to, like, kind of like Zorro's thing at the moment.
All right, so let me just.
And again, I'm not saying I need this.
Let me just check in with you. So are you saying that he has it or he developed something akin to that kind of aura?
I think it's a development in the story.
Because we have to take into account the fact that it's inborn.
Right. And Sanji's a prince.
But that doesn't mean he's...
I know it doesn't. I absolutely know it doesn't. But, there is a list of things about Conquerors. One of the things is royal bloodlines, though. Flamingo kind of showed that to us, right? So I'm not saying it's the reason. Obviously, Judge, none of his brothers have shown any kind of Haki movement. They could. I don't know. They use their suits.
Yeah.
Which gives them basically an artificial version of the armament and all that, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen Ichichi try to punch, a Logia, obviously, but like, it seems to put them on that kind of level.
Yeah.
With Sanji breaking the raid suit and just having the normal bodily ones that his family has, I could see him developing, not so much like training it, but unlocking it later in the story.
So
as a natural.
maybe a better way to approach it, because
Yeah.
I still think, and honestly, I think it would cheapen Conquerors hockey to do that as well. I think what would be more fitting in that case is, it sounds like, if we were to put in perspective of maybe one of Judge's goals was to scientifically implement hockey in a way that made it easier that anybody could use it. Maybe that was one of the raid suits, for example. And maybe he's on the cusp of developing something similar to Conquerors hockey.
The only problem I'd have with that is he's kind of trying to leave his family behind.
I know.
Right? He can't choose with the exoskeleton and the regeneration and all that.
Well, I mean,
seems to
here's the
be
thing, but he
inherent.
might still develop
Right.
now that the suit has unlocked it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
True. If it's something that's kind of already inside of him and it's artificial, right?
If it's artificial.
That'd be
yes.
interesting. I really don't know how it would be done, but if anyone could do it in a good way, I feel like Oda has
Yeah.
that kind of plan. Again, I don't need him to have Conquerors. I think Sanji's perfectly powerful enough.
Absolutely.
But
Then stop asking for it, Alex.
I'm curious.
Getting tired of you.
I
I'm
am
just kidding.
curious.
I'm joking. No.
So wait, so you think, Burke, that Jinbei and Yamato are on the same level? You're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't worry about if obviously we get the speculated next crewmate. I wouldn't worry about that upsetting the monster trio, even with her use of Conquerors. I personally find Yamato to be on the level of Jinbei.
Okay, I'm going to throw this at you because I love power scaling and I know how much you hate it. So Jinbei could have held off Kaido, you think, that long?
Oh, think of it this way. He's shoulder throwed and punched Big Mom. That was fine. It didn't do much damage, but it doesn't change the fact that he knocked her over several times.
Okay.
And I think the same runs true with...
It was a sneak attack, right?
No. Remember when he first...
He threw her
I know, he threw her then. But he also, remember, back on Whole Cake, he fell and punched her and she fell over. It didn't hurt her.
Right.
But that takes a lot to knock a Yonko over.
So okay.
I think he could hold her off just like Yamato could.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Don't you agree, Burke?
Digital Burke is quiet at the moment. We'll see if he comes back.
Bathroom question?
Sorry, repeat the question.
Also, I was just telling Alex that, Jinbei has been able to throw a Big Mom, and I remember back in Whole Cake, he had full-on punched her, and she fell over. It didn't hurt her, but I think he definitely exemplifies the ability to hold off a Yonko like Yamato has done.
I mean, also the fact that he was a former warlord, and that's what they were going to throw at Whitebeard in the first place. So Whitebeard being Yonko level, same as Kaido and or Big Mom, I just believe that he absolutely has the ability to stand at least. And I would have named Jinbei as one of the top 3 of the Shichibukai originally. Dofi, Boa, and... Well, actually... Ugh.
Yeah, that's a tough one that you just put yourself in there.
That's a tough one.
I mean, Moria's clearly out of that.
I would say, in my opinion, that would be, and this is a conversation we could delve into later.
Oh, for sure.
But I would, in my opinion, it would be Jinbei, Hawkeye, and I think it'd be kind of a twist up between Boa and Dofi.
Interesting. Okay.
Look. If any of the Shichibukai look at her and she gets her beam off, like, they're all men. They're done.
Not necessarily, because remember, the Vice Admiral, and he hit himself with some pain. He was able to resist her beam. So there's ways of resisting it. If you got the willpower for it.
But again, that the whole point is it's a man thing, and she's the most beautiful woman.
What was that, Bert?
If all members of the Shichibukai are asexual like Luffy is, it's done.
Yeah, but I don't think that's true. I mean, Dofi had his relationship with Violet, and, well, Moria's just a creep.
What?
Huh? You never noticed how Viola, right? Viola.
Yeah.
And always called Dofi by like a surname and not necessarily his title.
Well, that's because she was part of his family.
Sorry, there's a theory out there that I subscribe to that says that they had an intimate connection for a few years.
I don't see that.
First off,
No, it's not good. Like, it wasn't because she wanted to. That's the thing.
Tinfoil hat over here. My goodness.
It's not that tinfoil. It's a lot. Y'all can look up this thing. It's very interesting.
Tinfoily hats.
No. It's a real theory.
All that said, if we threw Jinbei up against Kaido, I absolutely believe he could stand his ground for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a fair assumption to make.
Just curious. Yeah. No, I mean, I love Jinbei. I would like to think that he could hold his own for a bit. I don't think he wins, but I think he definitely hold his own.
Yeah.
Oh, of course he doesn't win.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel the same way about Zorro and Sanji. I don't think they necessarily win against Kaido. I think it's
only Luffy.
I think at this point it's
that's
Luffy.
the difference that Luffy has, right?
Yes.
It's not a lot, but it is enough.
He's got Super Saiyan. He's got Super Saiyan.
He's Super Saiyan 3.
He's got Super Saiyan 3, maybe more.
They're all at Super Saiyan 2.
Exactly. They're the Vegetas to his Goku.
Yeah.
Damn it, Kakarot.
Damn
it, Straw Hat.
Cool. Well, yeah, no. Chapter about Sanji Predictions. 10:35 in 2 weeks. So sad.
Real quick, just because I thought I heard you talk, Burke, did you have anything else you wanted to say on that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, what about predictions? Let's start with you, Burke, so we're not interrupting you.
Predictions.
Yeah. Like I said, I just think the next thing we're probably gonna get is Zorro King chapter. I'm convinced that we're gonna bring this full circle in some way, shape, or form, and I'm just going off of a gut feeling on that. There's no true narrative theory as to why I believe this. I just think it'd be very cool if Queen and King both get pushed back to the live floor and defeated on the live floor for everyone to see, and the tide just continues to turn in the Straw Hat's favor.
All right. Fair. I'm thinking that we'll find out the fate of Queen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Whether that's just the beginning panel or a good portion of the chapter, I'm not sure. I'd like to find out the fate of Queen. And yes, I think I have to agree. I think we're going back and forth between Sanji and Zorro for a bit until one of those or both is resolved. Again, I'm really hoping for that double panel defeat of the All-Stars.
Can I add one thing really quick?
Yeah.
What's up?
The only reason, and this is the only other reason I don't think that Queen is down, is because, for the love of fucking God, if Fukurokuju is still around,
I knew it.
Queen is down.
I knew it.
Please, for the love of God.
I had the same thought.
Can Reiju please finish the goddamn fight before an all-star goes down? Before the next all-star goes down. I mean,
again,
I have some thoughts on that.
We could have off-screened them.
I have some thoughts on that.
It could have been off-screen, do you think?
But real quick, my prediction.
Could have been.
My prediction, I think it'll begin with a picture of Queen lying defeated, as in usual fashion.
Roll credits on Queen.
I think it's usually I like to compare this a lot to Enies Lobby because it's showing a lot of similarities fight wise.
Yeah.
And what happened was Jabra was defeated, and then Kaku, and then it went to the remainder of the Lucci fight.
Right.
And that seems to be a very common battle. You know, stepwise for
Oda has his.
He has a formula.
He has his formula.
And it seems like, and don't get me wrong, I'm just
totally change it up.
I'm just getting those vibes very heavily from this chapter. I could be completely wrong, and I would not be angry about it at all. I would be totally fine with the finishing at the same time. Let me make that clear.
Very clear.
But I think my prediction is that Queen will be beaten at the beginning. We'll go over to Zorro and King, and I think Zorro will beat King next chapter. Now the reason I think that is generally when Zorro beats someone, he doesn't do it through a flurry of attacks. He usually does it with one big attack after taking a lot of shit himself.
Yeah, Ashura or something.
Yeah, Zorro, he usually takes a lot of damage, and then finishes it with one big fuck you.
Yeah.
Is how his style usually plays out. Which is what I think will happen with King. I could be wrong, it might continue. But I think the chapter will begin with Queen's defeat, end with King's defeat. And now, real quick, my 2 cents on Fukurokuju and Reiju, because I'm done with those two. I have a feeling that the reason their battle is being prolonged so much is that maybe it'll be brought into the whole thing with Orochi and Hiyori. It might be a big old crisscross between them since they're all kind of involved in that. I can't see many other reasons, or maybe we'll flash over to one of them being defeated or both like at a draw or something, and then maybe something important will be revealed about the whole situation. I don't know. That's the only reason I can think of them lasting long. Them taking it longer to get to them than the other guys, because maybe some important information will be revealed, whether through them or through something that involves itself in the situation.
True.
But once again, who knows? This is a fucking ride, dude.
In One Piece, it is a ride.
It's a ride.
It is a ride.
This arc's a ride.
Yeah. If Queen does get back up, I do see maybe a scene where Sanji's approaching him and he's not there. And then he kicks, and then he is there. He's just invisible.
Oh no, for sure. Well, no, and that's also why Queen gives off very, albeit much more powerful, but very much Jabra vibes.
I like how Oda draws invisibility. I just want to point that out.
No, it's super cool.
I really enjoy that basic art style. Also, Queen's eyes becoming real for a second when he's like, "What the? He disappeared."
No,
too?
I love how his eyes always crack out of his sunglasses whenever he's like.
He's invisible and they're not invisible in that moment. They're just like, "Ah, where'd he go?" He must have so many pairs of glasses.
He's too cool, man. He's got to keep him. He'd be too popular if he was skinny.
Cool. Burke, any final thoughts?
Nothing from me.
Okay. 2 weeks, fellas. We'll see you. 10:35. See you then. Bye-bye.
Roxy.
All right, listeners, that concludes this episode of the Yonko Podcast. Queen, you sure are one brilliant bitch. Hot damn, and now you are on fire. You really should know better than hitting a woman in front of Sanji or literally being the embodiment of his family. He's really not a fan of most of them. Can you get back up? We will see. With that, see you all next time on the Yonko Podcast, Chapter Review 1035. There is a break. Why? All right, boys, we're off.